I love this movie. Hello, everybody. I am the Spirit Man, the embracer of human good and analyst of fiction. And as we get closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I thought this would be the perfect time to look over a truly marvelous 60s classic alongside How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the stop-motion Rankin Bass film, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Pretty much the Rudolph film that everybody grew up with as kids. Unlike the other films that I've done skits for on this series, this one and another certain Rudolph film that I'll be getting to soon, very soon, are ones that I don't remember too much about, so hopefully I won't drag on so long as I did with other videos in the past. But let's not waste any more time, but let's get into the classic, bizarrely motioned, stop-motion dolls movies that is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie. Let us begin now. Okay, so I think at the very beginning, Burl Ives' narrator snowman character, we all remember him. I even mentioned a sort of spin-off character of him from Elf a while back, is telling us about like really harsh weather storms and such that are really making things hard for folks around Christmas time. And I don't know if it takes place in 1964, which is the year that this movie first was released on television, and or whatnot. After Burl Ives does a little this and that about weather and all, he starts singing the Rudolph song, and then they have the intro credits and so forth for the short film in question. And then after Burl Ives does some more narration in regards to Santa and the elves and so on, I don't remember if there's a brief montage showing their lives in the North Pole and whatnot. Let's see here. We see Rudolph, pretty much the birth of Rudolph, I think, when he's barely a newborn infant reindeer. And we see instantly that he's born with a red nose, unlike any other reindeer in the North Pole, and this really upsets his parents and even Santa himself, because I think Santa drops by and really doesn't like what he sees. Then I think we see Rudolph grow up wearing a fake black nose to hide his red nose from everybody, so he isn't treated cruelly, though he is, from what I remember, his dad, his father, was a real jackass and really looked down on him as he grew up because of his red nose, because of his abnormality. And Rudolph, as a child, has to join in with reindeer games and training, playing in with the whole classic Rudolph song of never was allowed to join in any reindeer games. With Comet, who's one of the actual Santa's reindeer from the stories of Santa and all that, he's teaching them how to become proper reindeer and all. But at one point during the training, after trying to learn how to fly, including with some encouraging words from the girl reindeer Clarice, who is like, unlike the other reindeer who are like brown, light brown and so forth, she is like yellowish brown or light yellow, whatever, because she's a doe. A reindeer doe, I suppose. I remember Rudolph, like, when Clarice whispers to him that he's cute, he gets all excited and says, "I'm cute, I'm cute, I'm cute!" And he, like, flies briefly and drops down. But then while playing reindeer games or doing reindeer training and whatnot, his fake nose comes off, his red nose is shown to everybody, and all the reindeer call him names, bully him, tease him, and even Comet is really mean to him, saying, let's not include Rudolph in any more reindeer games. Like, major asshole now that I think about it, think back on it. And then Rudolph goes through this really down phase where he he wants to fit in with the others but can't because of his nose and all. So I think he spends a lot of private time with his father and his mother, and he and his father have to avoid the big abominable snowman that terrorizes the elves from time to time. There's this really scary scene where the snowman, the big monster, is stomping around and they have to hide. And then at some point or another, Rudolph meets Hermie the elf, and they quickly form a best friend bond. And and before that, I think Clarice tries to cheer up Rudolph with a song about "There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true." Really sweet song like that. And then I think at some point or another, Rudolph and Hermie just run away together because they both don't fit in. Hermie wants to be a dentist elf, not a toy making elf like the others. And they meet a brave explorer named Yukon Cornelius, who picks at ice, looks for treasure, and so forth. And as they go traveling, and they end up on the island of misfit toys, which are a lot of toys that were made wrong, that were given out wrong, and have apparently been banished there, I guess. And they have their famous song of "Here on the island of misfit toys." I keep forgetting that this was a musical, strangely enough, with a bunch of, at least several musical numbers, I think, from the characters, including this funny little elf number that I clearly remember Santa hated and really gets annoyed with throughout the film, saying, "Oh, I can't stop hearing that stupid song in my head, that silly song in my head." Oh, and by the way, this version of Santa Claus, thinking back on it, he really was a thin Santa. He wasn't a big, jolly old Santa for some reason. Weird. But they're on the island of misfit toys, and they meet the king lion of the island. This was over 30 years before Lion King, by the way. And I don't know, maybe he gives some words of inspiration, and then somehow or other Rudolph tries to live on his own, away from Hermie, Yukon, all the reindeer, all the rest. And then through some of Burl Ives' narration, he explains that eventually, as Rudolph grew older, he realized he could not keep turning his back on the past. He had to go and face it. So then Rudolph heads back home, and almost immediately after he arrives home at the North Pole, all the grown-up reindeer bullies who recognize him right away and tease him again, what a bunch of assholes. After Rudolph just sneers at them as such, he runs past them and tries to find his family, and can't find them. Can't even find Clarice, who is grown up as well. I'm trying to remember who notified him. I think it was Santa or somebody who let him know, well, they went looking for you, but we think that the abominable snowman got them. Then Rudolph reunites with Hermie and Cornelius. Doesn't this feel a bit like a Dark Knight Returns style story, the more I think about it? No. Actually, this is kind of a Lion King style story, or a Bambi style story, where the main character starts out as a kid and then grows into adulthood and finishes his story arc as an adult. So the three now work together to save the family, to save Rudolph's parents and Clarice from the abominable snowman. And there's this really creepy scene where Rudolph tries to fight the snowman, but the snowman supposedly crushes him with a big block of ice and laughs evilly. And Burl Ives, the snowman, gets all scared, literally going, "Oh no, tell me when it's over." Huh? Okay, as I was saying. Oh no, God, I got it wrong. I think this was the point where Yukon and Hermie got thrusted back in the story. Rudolph did not reunite with them. They had to learn about Rudolph's adventure to go save his family and Clarice. And then they come in, and then they trick the snowman into getting his teeth pulled out, which is a pretty gruesome punishment for all his evil, abominable snowman ways now that I think about it. The poor guy literally goes, And then once everyone's saved, they all return to the North Pole with, like, I guess, a sort of hero's welcome. But, not much has changed. Everyone still looks down on Rudolph for his red nose and so forth. And Yukon Cornelius comes with the abominable snowman of all things, who is now much friendlier, has become much friendlier like that. It's kind of amazing thinking back on it, and even helps to finish decorating the Christmas tree. But the blizzards and such, the weather is just so bad that Christmas is going to have to be canceled because Santa and the reindeer cannot possibly fly through this fog, and so on. But somehow or other, Rudolph's nose just lights up real bright, just like that, and Santa gets annoyed, saying, "Rudolph, go away! Put that nose away! That nose! That bright, big, wonderful nose!" Huh? What I'm trying to say, Rudolph, is, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? It will be an honor, sir. Hooray! And then Rudolph becomes a hero because now he's going to guide the sleigh and save Christmas and all. Kind of a bit abrupt and a bit of a deus ex machina in a sense, right? But so then the movie's ending with the classic fast tempo Burl Ives song of Holly Jolly Christmas, with him singing outside the building while everyone's finishing preparing for Christmas. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer, and all that good stuff. Then I think they sing the Rudolph song, a short version of the Rudolph song, as Santa and the reindeer go flying into the sky. And then I always remembered, I loved this moment as a kid. I still love it now, where Santa, it almost feels like he's speaking directly to the camera, but not really, as he's crying out, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And then the final shot shows Santa, the sleigh, the reindeer flying off with Rudolph and his big bright nose lighting the way forward through the dense fog. And the movie just ends. I think it was altogether it was only 25, maybe 30 minutes. If it was longer, that'd be amazing. But that is the 1964 stop-motion classic of Rankin Bass's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Back in the earliest days, probably the earliest days of stop-motion film, decades before it became the marvelous thing that it is today. So, did I remember this right? That's pretty much how it happened, if I recall correctly. Man, it's been so freaking long since I watched this all the way through. The last time I saw even bits of it online was probably months ago, at least by this point. But, just watching it that many times for that much, all those months ago, really gave a fresh picture in my mind, including other things that I never bothered trying to find on YouTube or whatnot, but still, I could still clearly remember. But yeah, this is a great film. It's just like a bunch of other Rankin Bass films of the time. It's short, concise, and to the point, telling a very compelling, very uplifting, family-friendly sort of story, sort of film about being born with a very strange abnormality that ostracizes you from so many, but can ultimately become your greatest tool, your greatest, how do I put it, benefit compared to other people, and how, for better or worse, even out of the blue, it becomes something to help save Christmas, as it does for Rudolph. I really need to watch this again. I probably will right after I'm done posting this up, or making and posting the next video up, which is Rudolph related. But, God, this is such a great film, and thank you for spending this time with me, listening to my loose recap of it. And, Christmas is almost upon us. I got one more Rudolph-esque film to review, or not to review, to do a skit of before getting to the rest of the Christmas stuff. And I'll see you guys very soon. So, this is the Spirit Man, embracer of human good, and analyst of fiction. Whoopsie daisy. Saying thank you again, and see you next time for one more Rudolph-esque episode. Night, everybody.